passed is because I had been divorced, and I received the custody of our two children. They were both preschool. The youngest one still in diapers. And so going through that process of being a father and a mother opened me up to having to have some feminine side feelings, and then helped me relate to her past because I had gone through some difficult times myself.
But I got to tell you, when I met him, it was not intentions to marry him. When I saw two little kids, I thought, I cannot be a mom, not coming from the family background I came from. I thought it wouldn't be fair to them. And so we dated and we became friends, and it led into, you know, a respect for one another, and then it became love, and then there was no walking away. And then I fell in love with his kids as much as I fell in love with him, because they were just adorable.
And Veronica, with her mom's bad past, she was, what's wrong with you, Alice? What's wrong with him? You know, my gosh, a wife and a mother that would leave her children, he must really, really, really be a bad man.
Not understanding the circumstances.
Relating it to her having a bad experience with Alice's father. And so it was, you can look back now a little bit tongue-in-cheek and see some of the silliness of that, but yet at the time, her mom was dead serious as to what must really be catastrophically wrong with me.
Yeah, she was wrong.
She was really wrong, and she admitted it later.
Really wrong,
as the years went by, she said, "You two are really solid."
Yeah,
you know,
that's awesome.
I was wrong.
That was like a blessing for her to say that.
Oh yeah. My mom had a Japanese pride, but she was really very honest about our love. Anyway, she was very true about that.
What kind of advice would you give someone coming from a dysfunctional family?
From a dysfunctional family?
Yeah, from a dysfunctional family. If someone is in an abusive situation and would like to learn how to overcome adversity, would you like to hear from them?
Yeah, yeah.
So what is your website, or should they go to your website or your email address?
Go to our website. It's www.rickandalicegarlock.com. Written word, all in one, just as it sounds. It's got our contact information, email addresses, post office box for mailing. We would love to hear from anyone that would like some additional advice or insight. We've had that quite frequently already. We would be quick to say we're not counselors, but no one should keep it bottled up. We actually had
the worst thing to do.
A lady at a book signing at Purdue University in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that we were, noticed her standing off in the distance for about 5 minutes.
Weeping.
And we finally broke
She's crying.
away. Alice went over and greeted her, and the very first words out of her mouth was, "I read your book and you saved my life."
She was suicidal. She was thinking about committing suicide.
She had just been diagnosed with cancer. She had decided not to pursue treatment.
And she was in an abusive family, a mother that was physically and mentally very abusive.
To this day, she got her cancer treatment. She's doing fine. We email frequently.
We talk
so
to each other.
It's very humbling to have someone like that was on the
she
brink.
said, I have been to counseling for years, and she said, this book has done more for me than years of counseling. So
Spirit Unbroken.
It's kind of scary.
Two sides of love. No, it's wonderful, because many people, as we were talking before, I was saying, many people would think, wow, this book is so raw, so true to life, that why talk about it? Yes. We should talk about it, because that's how we learn.
We've had more pastors comment on that than anything. They love this book because it's what life is all about. Life isn't about shiny, happy, great things. I mean, life is about ups and downs, and the downs can be pretty down for some people. You know?
Tell me a little bit about this book cover. I love this book cover, by the way. Is this little girl represent you?
Yes, yes. That's supposed to be my face. I wanted to represent the innocent child, and I wanted people to see this unmarked face and realize behind those eyes it was beginning.
So you picked the book cover?
Actually, no. Inkwater Press had picked it out.
We had several that we had picked. This is one that they had designed. and threw it in the mix.
Who's
and so
that? Who's
Inkwater Press is our
Inkwater
publisher
Press,
company.
okay.
They are a division of First Books publishing company. And so they threw that in the mix, and we shuffled them down to 2. This was in the final 2, and we finally chose that one. But because we wanted it to speak of the innocence, not just show the tragic side.
Right.
So yeah, we wanted them to know what that little girl that represents Alice has become as people get to meet her.
Yeah,
And
I had very few pictures of me at that age. So many of them
Yeah.
had been destroyed or taken away because of some of the issues that I mentioned in the book.
yeah.
So there were very few historical pictures of me in my past, and she tried to envision what I would look like about that age, and it's very,
Beautiful.
very close.
Very beautiful. It speaks for itself. What is the, I believe it's kanji?
Kanji. It's a
Kanji?
Japanese kanji symbol. It means miracles. If you're looking for a book that will move you spiritually, this book is filled with wonderful, wonderful situations that some people maybe who are non-believers would say are coincidences. In no way can you read those situations and say they were not from a higher being, because I was so blessed. And first of all, I should never have found my family in Japan. They can't find their own people. There's so many there. They're like little ants everywhere. And we have an amazing story to share. Would you like to hear about
Yeah,
one of the stories of
absolutely.
miracles?
Yeah.
You want to share the one about how we found?
Yeah. Alice had tried for many years throughout our marriage to find her family and couldn't. We had sent letters, they did not respond.
In
We
Japan.
finally just
Yes.
gave up for a
Yes.
period of time, even at the passing of her mother. We had funeral directors, some of the best spies in the world, trying to locate family in Japan, and they just simply could not find
Missionaries.
any contact. So in a pause in looking, Alice had latched onto a friend in North Carolina. She got to talking with this friend. This friend was from Japan and said,
She's
well,
a
just
transplant, as my mother was.
bring me some of your mother's memorabilia. And so Alice took a shoebox. All we had left of her mother's life was just a shoebox. And she was rifling through, and she picked up a letter, and she looked at it, and she stopped. And Alice, I'll paraphrase for her, goes, what's that? What's the matter?
Yeah,
and she
'cause
goes,
her face went white.
Yeah. This address on this letter is from my neighborhood in Japan. So here it is, this
Give me goosebumps, Eric.
person in North Carolina that actually recognized that neighborhood. A few months later, she went to Japan, took it upon herself to look up Alice's family, knock on the door, introduce herself. She came home and said, here's her name, address, and things like that. So it just unfolded from
It
there.
turned out to be my first cousin. My first cousin, it was my mother's brother's son, so my first cousin, and she lived within blocks of where he lived when she was growing up. And she recognized the address in that box. I mean, that just blows my mind.
That's just
We are so connected,
right.
you
Just
know?
one of the
Everybody's
many miracles that
Yeah,
seem to
yeah.
happen throughout the book.
connected. Yeah. What are the two sides of love? Because it's called Spirit Unbroken, which is you, right? You're surviving, but then the two sides of love. What would that be?
we talk so much about my father being the villain in the story, because he truly is a villain in this story.
Right.
It's hard for me to even believe that that was a father that could treat their family the way he did. And yes, I understand he was an alcoholic, and yes, I understand that he came from an abusive background himself, but still, I can't envision the kind of pain he inflicted upon this family being my father. But that was this man. And he did eventually come to terms and ask forgiveness. But the two sides of love are the two men in my family, or in my life, the one who was my rock, and the one who should have been another rock but failed me.
So it's a little bit contrast of the a darker side of love, love that's